We first push you to pick your market. Then we put you in touch with a realtor in that market. We prepare for you to close on the deal, close it, and then we say, okay, now it's time to go on to bigger deals.
So how much money do you need in capital to start?
You don't need any. We teach it without any money, any credit, any experience.
Really?
Yeah. If there's one thing that I can tell people is there's not tomorrow.
How can you find good deals in real estate?
That's a great question, and I love this question.
De cerrar su primer trato inmobiliario en la universidad a manejar más de 15,000 unidades en 14 estados y transaccionar más de $2 billones, Mark Shapiro es una leyenda del real estate. Quédate hasta el final, porque en este episodio de Actitud Millonaria revelamos el paso por paso de cómo ganar dinero invirtiendo en bienes raíces, alcanzar la libertad financiera y construir ingresos pasivos, aun si hoy en día estás empezando desde cero.
So we went to St. Louis. She found another property. She puts under contract for $34,000. $34,000. This is her first property. Small property. She put another $35,000 into it. It appraised for $150,000. Wow. She took all that money out. She bought a fourplex, and at the same time, she bought a single family house for herself. So her second and her third deal, which gave her now 6 units.
For somebody who has his own business or somebody who's starting out in the real estate space from complete zero, what will be your advice if they wanted to make their first $10,000 a month as a real estate investor? Mark, appreciate you taking the time to come here. You have been all over social media blowing up. I've seen your videos. I had no idea you started just a year ago. The impact that you have had, it's crazy. So I want to ask you, and this is the first question, is people are going to spend the next hour or so watching or hearing this podcast. Why should they spend their time hearing your story and learning from you here on the podcast?
Good question. So we all learn from different aspects and different moments and from different people in life. And we don't get everything from one person. So if you can learn one sliver from my journey and the way that I learned to become a more empathetic person and a more caring person and more in touch with my own feelings, maybe it will make you pass that on to another person. So you don't have to listen for an hour, but if there's one thing that you can connect with, if there's one thing that I can tell people is there's not tomorrow. Tomorrow's not given to you. It's not promised. So you need to make a change today. You need to do it now. You need to stop being scared and you need to jump in and do things. So if that is the one message that I tell people, and one of the things that we do, a super big thing in our program, is we make you uncomfortable. We push you. If you don't buy a property within the first 90 days, there are times where we'll offer you your money back. You must actually do it. You can't sit on the sideline. You can't play around. We give you every opportunity. We hold people's hands to do these things. So if they get one thing out of this, there is no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. Don't live your life that don't worry, I'll do it tomorrow. Today is the day. If there's somebody that's in your life that you love and you care, you tell them that. You look them in the eyes. If you've done something wrong to somebody, you apologize to them and you look them deep in the eyes and you tell them, I am so sorry. Forgive me, please. So maybe that's the message.
Okay. Sense of urgency. I like that. I think that's one of the qualities that every single successful people that I know has, is a sense of speed and urgency. Now, throughout your career, I was here on a podcast right before this, you have been able to transact over $2 billion in real estate. Very few people have actually been able to say that, right? I want to say, for the people that don't know you, that are new here, that are watching, who is Mark? What do you do today? And how have you been able to build a real estate empire and transact over $2 billion?
Y antes de continuar con el podcast de Actitud Millonaria del día de hoy, más del 70% de todos ustedes que ven el podcast aquí no están suscritos. Así que si no te quieres perder ninguno de los episodios de Actitud Millonaria ni de los sorteos que nosotros hacemos todas las semanas, asegúrate de suscribirte aquí más abajo y encender la campanita. De esta forma no te pierdes ninguno de los episodios que hacemos todas las semanas. Y así vas a poder aprender a aumentar tus finanzas, generar ingresos a través del internet, obtener la libertad financiera, mejorar tu salud, tus emociones y tus relaciones, con el fin de tú poder construir tu propia actitud millonaria, al escuchar historias impactantes para que tú puedas trabajar en tu propio desarrollo personal. Y habiendo dicho eso, continuemos con el episodio de hoy de Actitud Millonaria.
Now, throughout your career, I was here on a podcast right before this, you have been able to transact over $2 billion in real estate. Very few people have actually been able to say that, right? Who, I want to say for the people that don't know you, that are new here, that are watching, who is Mark? What do you do today? And how have you been able to build a real estate empire and transact over $2 billion?
Mark is just like anybody. Mark gets up in the morning, makes a cup of coffee. I have the same worries, whether my children are going to be safe, they're going to have a great day, whether, I'm going to get to where I'm going on time, which is definitely hard here in South Florida.
Yes.
And I always have that motto that if you're not early, you're late, because my father said that when you show up late, it shows a level of disrespect to another person. It tells them the message that your time is more valuable. So once again, I apologize for my tardiness. I completely, with all the things going on in my life, I was working out. I didn't even look at my schedule this morning. And I'm up at 5. Today I got up at, 4:52, but usually I'm up at 4:30 to 5. So I built it one property at a time. You don't travel 1,000 miles in 100-mile spurts. You travel 1 mile at a time. So when I bought my first property, when I was in college, I was able to create some value, sell it very quickly, and take those proceeds and exchange it, do a 1031 like-kind exchange, into 2 bigger buildings. And I did the same thing. And by the time I graduated, I had 58 apartments, 58 units.
Wow.
Took a job at a savings and loan, learned about the commercial banking business, and was also able to buy deals directly from the bank I worked for, because they had a real estate owned department. For all you guys don't know, it's called a REO, real estate owned department. And I was able to really build up a portfolio. And then once I hit 400 units and stopped actually working my units and came inside and just worked deals, I grew super rapidly. And we built up the most I think we ever had under ownership and management was about 15,000 units in total in 14 different states. We were doing quite a few deals south of 5th, 315, 321 Ocean, 304, 312, 221 Jeff, 245 Michigan. Then we had a whole block, the Carly Beach Club on Washington between 19th and 21st Street. We bought Collins Park. That deal during the difficulties I gave back. But that was a development deal. Joe Shitrid is actually finishing it. So we've done a lot of stuff. We built a lot of stuff. We've bought, repositioned multiple properties, and I love it.
Why do you love real estate so much, especially in today's climate?
Well, there's no climate that's good or bad. It's just good or bad deals. And it's financially engineering the deals properly. Some new developers will do deals where they'll push and they'll stretch a little too far, or they don't understand. And I'll tell you, there's a deal here I actually tried to buy last year with the Kaufmans. I don't know if you know them.
No.
Jerry Kaufman did Mystic Point. He did Hidden Bay. He's done a multiple deals up here before Aventura and Sunny Isles was Sunny Isles. The partner in Mystic Point was Tom Daly. Tom Daly was George Perez's partner in Ocean 1, 2, 3, and 4. And other related deals like Apogee, South of Fifth, and stuff like that. So we tried to buy a deal. I'm trying to think of the name. The sales center was in Loman's Plaza. You remember it?
No. I'm originally from Dominican Republic, and I lived in Indiana. I've lived here quite a bit in Miami, but I don't know too many areas here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where the it's in the Loman's Plaza. They still call that Loman's Plaza?
I have no idea where Lomas Plaza is.
It's right here in Aventura, across from the bagel place Moe's. You know where Moe's is?
No.
In Aventura? Mm-mm. There's a clothing store. They sell Pals Larry, which is a designer I like.
No.
European fashions, I think.
Well, my girl is the one who puts and gets me everything. I don't.
Nice. Nice.
So I don't know. I learned about Ferragamo and all these other brands. I had no idea what any of them were before I met her. So she's the one that, hey, put your uniform. I'm like, okay, I'll put my uniform.
Well, it's funny because my first wife, she was very good friends with Gucci and Prada and Louis. I didn't know what that stuff was.
Yeah.
And she's like, nah, you're not going to wear that. And get rid of those shoes. I'm like, what's wrong with my shoes? I like my shoes.
They're comfortable.
You know, they were like $100, I said to her. This is a long time ago because I got married in 1987. And that was my first marriage. And she did the same thing. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. So, question for you is, the reason why I asked about the climate in today's day and age, right, is because interest rates are high. Here in South Florida, people say it's hard to find deals, right?
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
No.
So, and actually, I want to show you a deal that literally a friend of mine sent me yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, for you to tell me if it's good or not. Okay. But basically, right now, to me, like right now, I don't own any real estate. I do own oil, like actual oil rigs, but I don't own any real estate. I do want to get to it, but I haven't been able to find deals because it's also not my field that I understand, like I understand the online space or the sales and marketing, or even now oil. So,
are your oil wells the old derricks, the old pump jacks?
Well, I'm sure you know Robert Kiyosaki.
I do.
So we are the ones behind the scenes running all the Spanish side of Rich Dad Latino. We recently did a big event here in Miami and another one in Mexico City. And I was able to get connected to the person that handles a lot of the oil stuff for them. The oil rigs that I invested in, and my girl too, is I think in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So they're older, mature wells that they're redoing.
No, they're drilling. They're new wells. They're drilling.
Drilling new wells.
Correct. And the risk that I have is obviously the price of the oil, and that when they drill, that there's not enough oil that they thought.
Right.
So, but based on the numbers, it's like 50 to 20% a year in cash flow, and then in 5 years they just flip it to a bigger corporation or something like that buys. I'm like, okay, it's a good deal. Because I don't have to do much, and I don't have to deal with tenants, for example.
You want to be passive.
Correct. I want it to be passive so I can focus on what I'm the best at. So, and obviously
it makes a lot of sense.
And it has a lot of depreciation and benefits from a tax perspective.
Celebrated depreciation.
Correct.
On the wells.
It's like I get 80% of every dollar that I put in 2 years, so I can depreciate 80% of whatever money.
It went down to 60 in 2025.
Really?
Yeah.
I did it in 2024.
But it'll go up. It'll go back up, I think, with this administration.
Correct.
To 100%.
I think so too. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how can you find good deals in real estate when people, or you see in the news or whatever, interest rates are high, there's no good deals, especially in South Florida, everything's expensive, and nothing cash flows. So how can I do that?
That's a great question, and I love this question. We just bought a deal out of the box in Greater Houston at an 11 cap on a T3, which is trailing 90 days.
What is, for people that don't know, what is an 11 cap?
11 cap is an 11% capitalization on your money. So that's what your money grows at on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Okay. Most people here in South Florida, like other real estate apartment operators, I'm not going to say his name, buys deals at a 3 cap.
Okay.
Now this
An
deal
11
is
cap. It's like
this deal's a B product.
Yeah.
Okay. What he buys is A product. So as you come in on Biscayne over by the train station, some of the new product, that would be considered A product because it's new. But if you come over here on Collins and it's non-condominium and it's an apartment deal, it's going to be closer to an A product. But based if it's 5 years or newer, it's A. But if it's 6 years or older, it's going to come down. Even though it's a quality deal, okay? This is a condominium, right? The A product is going to have a higher yield, so therefore and a lower risk, therefore the cap rate is a little bit lower.
Got it.
Institutions like BlackRock, they'll buy 3s, high 2s, 4s. They don't want to actually do the work to lift the value. We, because that's the way I was trained, was to create value, to force appreciation, to find value by reducing the tax basis, by putting solar into your property and selling the kilowatts. And those numbers go to the bottom line. So we like to be in red states. This deal we just bought was from the remnants of the failed Silicon Valley Bank. And it was the first of the 28 deals that they sold off, or the FDIC sold off to a bank called First Citizens, which is a Florida bank. And this was the first deal that they peeled off. And we worked pretty hard to close the deal. It took us 126 days to get it closed. Small deal, 106 units.
That's small.
But we'll make a quick $8 million on the deal very, very fast. My students bought it with me. We got it financed 100%. They financed it at non-recourse at a 5.19 rate for 60 months interest only. And now we're working on our next and our next and our next from them. So buying these deals all comes based on relationships. So I bought all my deals that are from distress. I bought from what's called the RTC. And when you were born, 1992 was when I did my first RTC deal.
What is
which
RTC?
So it stood for the Resolution Trust Corporation, which was created to take over when the savings and loans failed. This is the last financial crisis in the early 90s, because we always have history repeating itself. So you always see these 10-year cycles in real estate. Now, I've been through 4 major cycles and 2 smaller cycles. And I've lost money in some of them because you can't help it. But even when I was losing money on one side, I was buying deals on the other side to bring my average cost down. Like when you buy a stock that's high and then the price goes down, you dollar cost average down. It's no different in the apartment space. Same thing. The better you get at operating, the more money you're going to make. So there are a lot of guys that know how to buy things, finance things, raise money, but they lack one thing. They can't execute. Okay? Now, take a developer like the Desert family, okay? Gil, so to speak, that built this building. Okay. And some of the other things. He knows how to execute. Okay. Take our current president. Those were some of the first deals here. Take his unrelated family, Julius Trump and his brother. They know how to execute. Take George Perez. He was partners with Steve Ross. Now they're not. They know how to execute. probably one of the guys that goes to my temple, you've probably never even heard of his company. His name is Russell Gilbert. His company is called Crescent Heights.
I've never heard of it.
They're probably the largest developer in the country next to Steve Ross or Larry Silverstein. They're the biggest of the big, okay? That's not institutional. Take a guy like Joe Milton. You ever heard of the Miltons?
No.
The Milton family is the largest apartment owner in South Florida, and you'd never know who they are. Take a guy named Pedro Martin. You might know who his son is, David Martin from Terra Group. Very good developer.
Okay.
Okay. So all these guys, they do one thing. They execute. They have the proper capital stack. And they don't do deals that puts them in harm's way. Okay. Or like the people that we partnered with on our deal in Malibu, BH3, who built the stuff behind us on the little island, Privé. And that's why we changed the name to, instead of, what was the name of the property when we bought it? The Cavalieri. Charlie Sheen lives there, the actor. We changed the name to Privé because they became the dominant partner because they wrote the $36 million check. We just kept $7.5 million in the deal.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
because we couldn't get it closed. Great deal. Nobody wanted to do the deal.
Got it. So if I'm hearing correctly, right now, for example, the deal that you explained with
106 units, Vanderbilt Lodge. Yes.
Small. I mean, you tell me that, I'm like,
tiny deal.
for me, it's like, that's a very big deal, right?
Well, okay. So remember, I started doing this back in 1983. My first deal was 3 units.
Got it.
Then the next deal I bought was 2 6s, so that was 12.
Okay.
Then I bought a 12 on the same street, and it was all next to a college. I used the same platform. I created the units, made them a little nicer, and leased them to the college students, but the parents guaranteed the rent. And I was able to charge a higher rent. Who told me to do that? My mother.
Got it.
She was a commercial real estate broker.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to do it. She told me how to do it.
Yeah. Would that same strategy work in nowadays or not really?
Of
Yeah?
course.
Okay.
So when you say that, does it work today? Absolutely. Are we finding deals here in South Florida, in the state of Florida? Absolutely. One of our students, his name is Jason Lepore, and he just bought a deal in Winter Haven. He renovated it and is now refinancing it, and he's taking, now this is his first deal, his first real estate deal. He's taking $70,000 out of it, and he did it in 90 days. And now he's buying 2 properties with that $70,000. He still has the property, he still has the appreciation, he still has about $600 a month in cash flow. Now, why do I push my students to do that? Because I want them to understand it on a tangible level of doing it.
Yeah.
Once they do that, they can then leverage it up to the next level and then the next level. So my first student, Lydia Walker, June 20th, 2 weeks, we were on Zooms twice a week, and we would stare at each other. I got to know her whole life. She came to my wedding. Too bad it's not, so these are, in Hebrew, we believe things, everything that God gives us, everything is for the good.
Yep.
So Lydia, she bought her first deal. She calls me one day. I'm actually at the pickleball courts in Miami Beach playing pickleball. And she said, I have a wholesaler on the phone. I want to buy his deal in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm like, okay, merge me in. So I walked away from the courts and I'm talking to this guy. And, I said to the guy, I said, look, we need at least a 10-day inspection period. And he's like, I only have 2 days to close. I'm like, well, we're not going to buy the property from you. And she's like, well, hold on. I'm like, no, Lydia, you're not going to buy the property without an inspection.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. I said, all right, let's go to another market. She said, where? I said, we're going to go to St. Louis, Missouri. So we went to St. Louis. She found another property, put it under contract, and they refused to let her in to do the inspection. We found out later it had a fire. Third property, she puts under contract for $34,000. $34,000. This is her first property. Small property, a 2-1. She added a bathroom, turned it into a 2-2. She put another 35 into it. It appraised for $150,000.
Wow.
She took all that money out. She bought a fourplex, and at the same time, she bought a single-family house for herself. So her second and her third deal, which gave her now 6 units. And then now she's buying the 18 unit. And her goal was, by the end of this year, was to have $8,000 a month in cash flow, because that's their monthly expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And her fiance, then now husband, wanted to retire, and I told him, you're not retiring. You just keep working until she needs you. Just keep working. Don't retire. And she's a shining star. We actually offered her a job. Everybody that works for us came through us. We trained them.
Yeah.
And offered her a job, and she's like, no, I want to be a full-time real estate investor. I'm like, okay. And then she's like, I want to learn multifamily. So what did we do? We gave her our multifamily program for free because she is very special.
All right. So she has been able to build $8,000 in cash flow over the last year. Right. Mm-hmm. That was her goal.
Yep.
She was the first student. Now, for somebody, for example, who's an entrepreneur, has his own business, like myself, or somebody who's starting out in the real estate space from complete zero, mm-hmm. what will be your advice today if they wanted to make their first $10,000 a month as a real estate investor?
Antes de continuar con el podcast de Actitud Millonaria del día de hoy, para las primeras personas que ven este episodio en las primeras 72 horas, tengo algo muy especial para todos ustedes. Ahora mismo estamos haciendo un sorteo a todos ustedes que son los primeros que ven aquí el podcast y este episodio del día de hoy. Vamos a estar regalando $100 para uno de ustedes, completamente aleatorio. Y además de eso, vamos a estar regalando una llamada de asesoría completamente gratis, 1 a 1, ya sea conmigo o con una persona de nuestro equipo. Así que lo único que tienes que hacer para entrar al sorteo, y de nuevo, eso es solamente para las personas dentro de las primeras 72 horas del episodio del día de hoy, es comentar la palabra que ves aquí en pantalla. Además de eso, tienes que asegurarte de que estás suscrito, la campanita esté encendida y que le des like a este video. Ahora, después de las 72 horas, vamos a estar anunciando el ganador de este sorteo del episodio del día de hoy en mi cuenta de Instagram, en Instagram Stories. Así que asegúrate de seguirme ahí y también encender la campanita para que no te pierdas si tú eres ese próximo ganador. Ahora, si tú eres de las personas que está viendo después de las 72 horas, no importa. Si quieres participar en el siguiente sorteo, que todas las semanas tenemos múltiples sorteos, asegúrate de suscribirte y encender la campanita para que no te pierdas el próximo episodio de Actitud Millonaria, en el cual también vamos a estar brindándote la oportunidad de tener y participar en este sorteo completamente gratis para ti. Así que de nuevo, si eres de las primeras personas que ve aquí ahora mismo, comenta la palabra que ves en pantalla y felicitaciones al ganador o a la ganadora del sorteo del podcast del día de hoy. Y habiendo dicho eso, continuamos con el episodio de Actitud Millonaria.
All right. So she has been able to build $8,000 in cash flow over the last year. Right. Mm-hmm. That was her goal.
Yeah.
She was the first student. Now, for somebody, for example, who's an entrepreneur, has his own business, like myself, or somebody who's starting out in the real estate space from complete zero, mm-hmm. what will be your advice today if they wanted to make their first $10,000 a month as a real estate investor? Give me the step-by-step. Like, do this, I will do this.
How much time do you have? Do you want to be passive? Do you want to be active?
Give me both scenarios. I want to be passive, obviously, but maybe somebody here wants to be a little bit more active because they have more time.
So that's really a unique thing that our community actually has. We have a lot of doctors, we have a lot of professionals that don't have the time, but have the capital. And we have newer, aggressive, younger investors that have the time, but don't have the capital, and we put them together.
Got it.
So we created a program which is called the Revenue Share Program, where we partner with you. We execute the deal. We finance the deal. And then when the deal is done and it's either refinanced or sold, we get paid our equity back. We get 50% of either the refinance or the sale proceeds, and it's your property. So if you refinance it, you keep it, you run it, we'll put the management in place for you. We teach people how to remotely manage their properties. So property management is one of those businesses that's just not it's a hard business. And it's a thankless business. Nobody says, thank you so much for being a great property manager, okay? Because it's not a perfect scenario in anything. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you understand how to buy things in bulk and how to do things and how to cut down on your turnover, which means apartment's empty, you have to turn it over, you have to re-rent it.
Yep.
That's attrition. You do not want to have a property that turns over a lot. Florida's transient, Texas transient, Georgia's transient, the Carolinas are a little less transient, Midwest not so transient. So you want to be in these markets where the level of turnover is a flat line versus an ascending line. So that's where we try to pick our markets very carefully.
Okay.
So a person who wants to build out a portfolio, we teach them how to do that. A person who wants to be passive, we teach them how to be passive, and we show them how to do that. They can either partner with us on a deal, like the Vanderbilt deal, or they can, and we don't mark our deals up. We don't buy it for $1 and sell it into the partnership for $1.50 like other syndicators. We sell it into the partnership for what we paid for it. The fee that we take is a fee if we have to guarantee the loan. We take a very nominal fee for being the KP, that's the key person, the sponsor. Otherwise, we're in it for the long term. We're in it for adding value and either selling the asset or adding value and then refinancing the asset, taking those funds. Investor wants their money back, they take it. Investor wants to go on to the next deal, we leverage up to the next deal.
Okay.
So it's more from a long-term horizon versus a short-term horizon. A lot of investors are like, I need to make money fast. It's not a fast business. It's a methodical, pragmatic, process-driven business, okay? Numbers are numbers. Numbers don't lie. You analyze the numbers on your oil wells. You know what it is. You can buy older oil wells and re-drill them. You can buy the newer oil wells and either frack them or go deeper, okay? So the geology report is what it is.
Yeah.
Same thing with real estate. The occupancy reports are exactly what they are. The migration shows you what it is. The data in the market tells you what it's going to be, and then you follow the trends.
Okay. So what would you consider a good deal in terms from a ROI perspective? Like, let's just say if this deal does not make this number in terms of cash flow or appreciation or something per year, is not considered a good deal.
Minimum deal for us is we want a 2x multiple on our deals.
2x multiple in what time period?
In a 24-month period.
24 months.
Yeah, we can
so I'll
push,
put $100, I want 200 in 24 months.
We can push the value that quickly, or we won't do the deal. Now, do I want 2x? I want better. So the Vanderbilt's closer to a 3x deal, but we're in the process of stabilizing it and releasing it and doing a minor rehab on it.
Okay. So how do you find these 2-3x deals when historically, right, real estate has only produced, well, they say that has only produced 7 to 10, 12% a year on average? How do you make it a 2x?
Well, those numbers are skewed because those are unleveraged returns. Those are, if you were to pay cash, this is what the return is. But when you leverage it, it creates a hyper return.
Correct.
So in the apartment space, we know we can leverage our deals up to 80, 85, 90%.
How do you do that?
You have your different financial stacks. So your capital stack is a first mortgage. Then you're going to have either pref or mezz equity. And then you're going to have common equity. And then you're going to have your equity.
So basically it's like 90% of all the money.
Building a cake. It's a layer.
Yeah.
You're building a building floor by floor.
So basically 90% of all the money in a specific deal is not even yours.
Of course.
So you're using 10% of an apartment building.
Yep.
And you're able to leverage it and make the 2 3x on the entire cake, like you say, not just on the 10%.
So take a simple deal. Take a new construction condominium project right here, Sunny House. And let's say our sellout is $500 million. This is just a hypothetical deal. Our sellout's $500 million. We're going to take 30% in the way of deposits on the $500 million. What's that?
150.
Correct. We're then going to take the full cost to build it, and let's say our full cost is $300 million, and we're going to go to a construction lender, and we're going to get a construction loan of 60%, call it 70%. No, let's say 60. Let's be conservative. So 60 on 3 is 180, plus our 150. That's 320. And then the difference is going to be about $30 million is going to be our equity. So it's less than total value. It's less than 10%. It's about 7. So that's how deals are engineered. And in the state of Florida, those construction deposits can be used for construction costs. Hard construction costs, not marketing, not interest, not advertising, but hard construction costs.
Okay. So in that scenario, let's assume I'm a real estate investor, not a real estate developer, and I want to buy a condo in that specific project. Do you consider that a good deal or a bad deal? Because right now there's a lot of pre-construction happening in downtown. It's blowing up. Like, would you consider those good deals or bad deals? How would you?
I wouldn't
evaluate
buy
those?
anything brand new in downtown right now.
No?
I think the inventory is rising. I think there's deals in all the buildings that exist right now. And you can basically call the shots. Because as inventory rises, what happens? Prices come down. If interest rates come down, what's going to happen again? Prices are going to compress again. So you'll be able to actually do much better. Why buy a new construction downtown when maybe you buy a new construction here and play the float game here in Sunny Isles or Palm Beach or in some of the other markets that are still going very, very strong? You don't need to follow, a trend. You need to follow the money, where you're going to make money.
Got it. Okay.
So,
all right. So right here, down there, right before you came here, I was doing a little bit of research to see, to educate myself on some numbers, right? Like I said, my game is more the online space. I know those numbers extremely well. When you were saying, we sell this amount of units, this price, I know that game like my eyes closed. The real estate game, I don't know it so well. There's a house down there that's $13 million on the water. And right next to it, there's
Golden Beach?
No, right here,
Right here.
right in front of this building.
Okay.
Sunny House. There's a house, $13 million, and right next to it is an older house that's being sold for like $1.5 million. Right? Will you consider the older house down here a good deal or not?
Of course. That's what's called real estate speculation 101.
Okay.
So you know that in that neighborhood, somebody's buying houses, knocking them down and renovating them. Okay? And they're building. And it's going on everywhere. You see it everywhere. Okay? Because South Florida is where everybody wants to be. What state has the #1 migration rate in the country? Florida. What is it? It's roughly 420,000 a year. What 420,000 a year divided by 365?
That's it right
1,100 a day.
420.
1,000 a day. 11.
Yeah.
1,100 a day. So you have 1,100 a day in real estate. You got to do numbers fast.
Yeah.
In your head. So it's 1,100 people a day that are moving here to the state of Florida. Now, it's not just here in Dade County or Broward or Palm Beach County, but I will tell you, watching the construction of the highways and watching how 95 has grown and grown and grown and grown and what's happening, the infrastructure is never going to catch up to the growth here. That's why people are using Brightline to go to work.
Yeah.
That's why people are on the Metro Rail. That's why they're doing this new program to clean the Metro Rail up, because people feel it's a little seedy. So public transportation is real. And growth in South Florida, overpopulation, is real. Because when I was a kid, it was 200,000. What's the population here in South Florida now? 3 million?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay. It just can't go any further, but all it can do is keep on going north. So you follow the migration, you buy ahead of the path, and you go north.
Okay.
Okay. Can you buy, because, okay, I remember when you first go past the Marco Polo, past Ocean, I think it's 4, past Regalia, and Golden Beach starts to the left on the intercoastal are some nicer, older homes. Noel Breakstone built those, okay? And I don't know what they are, 3,000 or 4,000. I remember going to his grand opening years and years ago. And all those homes on the beach in Golden Beach were all older and gentrified. Fast forward 20 years to today, what are they?
They're worth 30, 40, $50 million.
Correct. Are they going to make any more sand and ocean like that?
No.
So they're only going to go up in value. So when you take a look at the house next door, it's an absolutely winner, but you have to factor in how long you're going to have to carry it for, and then who's going to come along and do that. Or are you going to do that? Or are you going to find somebody to do that with you?
Yeah.
So that's the play.
Okay. Got it. So that's more on the speculation side, but you have to also factor in the time between when you actually are going to be able to capitalize on the speculation itself.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. So let me ask you this. 52 months ago, I was working as a cashier in a gas station in Myanmar, right at the turnpike, after losing my entire business and losing over $1 million. I was working as a cashier, completely depressed. And the reason why, or part of the reason was because I started spending money on dumb things. You have a lot of reaction videos
Yes.
with some people that spend money on dumb things. Right there on your wrist, you have a beautiful watch, Patek.
Mm-hmm.
How do you...
Tanner's, is this your favorite one? Or you like the ones with the leather?
I like the moon. Either that one or the Gator Sinbad.
The moon face gator? Yeah.
That's a beautiful watch.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you buy the fun, beautiful things or the dumb money, right, or the stuff that you spend dumb money on?
Mm-hmm.
When do you actually do it correctly while investing in real estate and making money from it? How do I balance and manage the money correctly in order to do both things?
So this watch is a reminder. Because it's a flyback, it's a reminder of a number of things. It's a reminder of the deal that I bought it from, which was Waterview Apartments when we sold them. It was 375 units. And there were 3 of these watches, and the other 2 partners were given the watches. So the deal actually paid for the watch. Okay. The flyback of the watch reminds me how vulnerable you can be and how vulnerable that I am at times. Because, I don't know if it's a Latin thing. I don't know if it's a macho thing. I'm a kind of guy that wears my emotions on my sleeve. And I'm open to that, where, like, we did a podcast with a good friend of mine who's a really tough guy who had to sell his watch, move out of his apartment. He's a motivational guy, and now he's on his way back up. And he told me he's just wearing black T-shirts and black jeans now. But he said he doesn't wear a watch anymore. For me, when I bought my first big deal, which was 183 units, I was 25 and I sold it. It was like pure luck. And I made a little over $3.1 million on it. And then I turned 26. And the first thing I did was my project manager, I bought him a Submariner, a 2-tone, blue face, blue bezel. I bought myself an 18 blue face, blue bezel. Okay. And every time I had a successful deal, I started buying watches. And the guys, I don't really, I'm kind of private. I don't show my personal stuff. So the guys know that I have lots of watches. Okay, I don't wear them all, but I think one day we did a podcast and I threw a titanium RM at who caught it? You did?
Yeah.
Tanner's like, you better catch that fucking thing. So it's just a watch. Okay, the meaning behind the watch. But to answer your question is, when I got that check from the closing and I went and showed it to my dad, because back then you got a check from the attorney's client fund. And I showed my dad, who was a successful stand-up dentist back then. And we had a nice life. We didn't have an opulent life. We did belong to a country club, but it was a country club that my father's father started. So we had a lifetime membership. You don't know these things as a kid until you become an adult. And I showed him the check, and he said, "Can I take it?" And I said, "Okay. You want to take my check?" He goes, "Yes, I'm going to take the check, and I want to take $1 million from it." I said, "Okay." So I said, "What are you going to do with it?" He goes, "I'm going to set up a trust, and you're always going to have $1 million, and I'm going to run it." So I'm like, "Okay." So I took the remaining money. I bought myself a house. I fixed it up, made it cool. I bought myself and ordered my first Porsche convertible, 911, blue with a khaki interior, which was like white back then, blue top. Bought a boat at down here at Abbott and Gilmore on 135th and Biscayne. And what else did I buy? The watch. And the rest of the money, I bought real estate. Now, that probably wasn't smart, but I bought all that real estate, and it all went up tremendously in value. So a lot of young guys, they see people with a nice car or this or that, okay? And I understand that they desire it, but allow the desire to fuel your growth, and you will know when you get to the right place. You will know when you feel that you have enough ability to pay and sustain and do these things. And you don't have to keep up with anybody, because it's about you. It's about you achieving your goals, achieving where you need to be. Okay, you can't let anybody else tell you what your path is. You need to know your path, define your path. No, I love to tell people to get off their fucking ass, because I see so much unbridled potential.
Yeah.
You go to Aventura Mall, you walk around, you see kids walking around on their phones like zombies, all right? And then you see these young kids, they spend $1,000 on a pair of sneakers. Well, what's wrong with the pair of sneakers for $100? I don't get it. It's not me to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's me to speak on it and point it out.
True. So here,
that's an amazing story. So what did you do?
Yeah.
I'm on the edge of my seat now.
Yeah.
So
with what? With
52 months ago.
All right. So I've been the guy behind a lot of brands, personal brands, who's helped them scale. Alex Becker, Alex Hormozi, Russell Brunson, the ClickFunnels group. That's where I started. And that's how I made my first million. I was 25. It was 2018. And a year later, less than a year later after I made the million, I was working as a cashier in a gas station.
What gas station was it?
It was a Shell in Miramar, 3500 Red Road, Miramar, Florida, 33125. That is the only.
I love that.
That is the only address that I actually know here in South Florida.
So it's funny because I spent 5 years driving to Miramar, building a project called Sherman Circle.
I have no idea where that is, but
so you know where La Carreta is?
Carreta.
Where the Walmart, La Carreta.
Carreta.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's on Universal. It's on the other. No, yeah, but it's on the other side of Perry Airport.
Maybe, I don't know. If you put me there,
You're out west. You're closer to the turnpike.
I'm right next to the turnpike. Right next to Taco Bell.
We're right in the middle.
Okay.
We built a large waterfront development there years and years and years ago.
Okay.
So I used to go every morning, and I'd get my large coffee and milk, coffee con leche,
Yeah.
and I'd get a half a dozen pastelillo with guava, and then I'd go to the site, I'd go in the construction trailer, and I would be like, why isn't this here? Why isn't that here? Why aren't you doing this? Kind of like what I do to Adrian all the time. I'm screaming at everybody, and they're like, Mark, calm down. The truck is right there. I'm like, okay. And Adrian's like, Mark, calm down. It's okay.
It would be funny if you actually went to the gas station while I was working at a gas station. Maybe you did. Who knows?
Look, I pump my own gas. Yeah. I love going into the gas station. I love gum. I'm a gum guy. So I always got to get a bottle of water. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next question for you is like, how important for you?
So how did you do it?
How did I do what? Oh, how did I get around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
you went from working at a gas station,
yeah,
to 52 months later living in
Porsche Design Tower,
which is magnificent. So
what I did was,
and you're engaged.
Yes.
You have to tell us how you met.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell you this. That was 2019. I still have a picture. It's just as a reminder. And how I got out of there was I decided to focus back on what made me the first million. So part of it also was the environment, which was the next question I was going to ask you. For me, I had to just plug myself out of there and go to an environment that actually allowed me to be focused on what actually made me the first million. So I'll tell you, long story short, what happened was 2 friends that I met in ClickFunnels event and that circle moved to this same tower, Porsche Design Tower, and they had an extra room. They saw how it was. My face was full of pimples. I was overweight. 2 of my family members has passed away. This was in the middle of COVID. They were back in Dominican Republic. I couldn't travel. Like, it was a very horrible scenario. And I remember going to bed every night, wishing and praying to God that He didn't allow me to wake up alive the next day. I never did anything against myself, but I would literally remember praying that, like, allow me to die today. So they saw that and they say, hey, listen, we have an extra bedroom, move in, but you're going to pay rent. I'm like, dude, how the heck am I going to pay rent here? It's like, rent was like, between 3 of us was $5,000 plus utilities and food. It was like $7,000, $8,000 a month. I'm like, I'm making like $3,000 a month as a cashier in a gas station. What are you talking about? Like, do it. You're going to go back to what made you the first million. You're good at sales. You're good at marketing. You're good at this. Focus on that. And that's exactly what I did. First month, I did $80-something thousand. Profit on that was like 40. And then little by little, I built up. Took me 6 months to make the next million. And I met, as I was on the come up, I met Maria in January 2021. So been together ever since dating. And then we recently got engaged in Paris in December. So a lot of ups and downs in relationships, like anything in life, but we have learned a lot with each other. I'm not even close to the same person that I was when I met her. And Paris was amazing. It was a dream come true, and it took me 5 months to plan that thing. So that's basically, long story short, how I was able to build back up after losing everything. And then my business partner, I met him 2019. We didn't do anything for 2 years or something like that. He's produced like $2 billion in sales over the last 25 years, flew all over the world with Jim Rohn. So you'll meet him here shortly. But yeah, we started working together 2023, I want to say. And the business has grown significantly since then. So that's basically, long story short, my summary, if you will. So that's what I was going to ask you. How important is your environment to you? Because for me, it was a determining factor between gas station, depressed, news, pandemic, all the negative stuff you can possibly imagine, and being able to push and being able to live life in the fullest of terms. So how important is your environment to you?
Your environment's everything. But your environment is created here. It's created in your mind. And it's created in your heart. If you are going to succeed at anything, it comes from within. If you are going to get knocked down, no one else is going to get you back up except yourself. except your own mentality, okay? The only way that you get stopped is to stop. You don't stop, okay? If somebody is more successful than you don't get mad at them. You ask them for advice and you thank them. If somebody sees something in you that is good, you have them explain it to you and you understand it. If somebody sees something that is negative in you, you do the same thing, okay? It's not about the monetary reward. It's about the emotional reward that you can affect another person. It's about the emotional change. So one of the things that we were talking about in our social call today, and I'll tell Tanner about it, is that we decided that we're going to step down doing the reaction videos. So the team wanted to step it down to 1 a day, but I rethought it last night and I want to step it down to 2 and then for 30 days and then step it down to 1. Then what was very interesting is Christian, he was telling us that the motivation that I've been doing more about God has really started to resonate a lot with people because I'm a religious Jew and I'm a strong believer that, God is everywhere. It's just, if we don't slow down, we're not going to see it. If we don't open up our eyes or our heart, we don't see it. So you can't allow anything to shape you but yourself. So you were in there as a cashier, but everything was already inside you. You already had the answers. When they said you got to pay rent, you didn't fight back that much. You said, okay, I'm coming here. And then it started the process again. Now you're better this time than you were the last time. So okay, what am I going to do that's going to make sure if this happens, that happens. If this happens, I do this. So you have all the answers. We all have the answers. We just have to dig for them. Feeling sorry for ourselves? It's not an option. Now, is it okay to have that thought that you had? Yeah, because it's a thought that you had. But it's not nothing. There's nothing that's going to come out of it.
Correct.
So, and you said you've changed a lot since you met Maria. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm sure she has too because of the relationship. Yeah. And that's what a relationship is. It's not a relationship where somebody is up here and calling the shots. It's a relationship when you come together, you grow, okay? You don't have envy, okay? You have respect, okay? Admiration is, I don't know if admiration is such an accurate thing to say that a person who is in love has admiration for one another. Love and respect are truly what carries the day. It's just my personal opinion. So, and you can never be envious of that person that you love.
Correct.
You should be, in Yiddish we call it kvelling. So, like when a parent sees his child score a goal, how proud you are. But some parents are screaming, but the more reserved parents are just like, oh yeah, mm-hmm. So these are the things that lift people up. Today in society, everybody sees, this car, that car, and it doesn't make you a better driver, It doesn't make you smarter. So it's not going to make me taller, I'm the height that I am. So, but you don't have to be showing off to people. You should be showing off to help people, to guide people, to give to people.
Agree. So my dad, I grew up in church. My dad is a pastor.
Nice.
And he used to tell me since I was a boy, in Spanish, but I'm going to try to paraphrase it. He told me, he who doesn't live to serve does not deserve to live. Wow. And usually the richest people on the earth are the ones who serve the most. Yet, and I remember this very clearly in church, they teach us that, or the energy that is portrayed is that money is evil. Even though what it actually says is the love of money is the root of all
The
evil.
love of money.
Correct. But at least when I grew up, it was, hey, listen, money is evil. Don't pursue it. It is this energy thing that even though we all want it, it is evil because it's gonna, I don't know, contaminate our heart. What do you say to people in that scenario? You mentioned God, that is important in your life. How do you balance rich or the wealth that you have been able to build by not being able to contaminate your heart and not create this energy that money's evil?
Antes de continuar con el podcast de Actitud Millonaria del día de hoy, si tú estás interesado exactamente cómo aprender a generar ingresos a través del Internet, sin tú tener que tomar muchos riesgos, sin tener que empezar un negocio desde cero, sin tener que crear contenido en redes sociales, la mejor manera de tú generar ingresos a través del Internet hoy en día es convirtiéndote en un vendedor digital certificado. Es exactamente lo mismo que mi propio padre lo ha hecho aquí de 60 años y él en los últimos 12 meses ha vendido 1.4 millones de dólares y él personalmente se ha llevado más de $200,000 en comisiones personales. Lo mismo ha hecho Karen desde Chile aquí, que ha hecho hasta $1,000 en un solo día, o Jorge aquí desde Paraguay, que ha hecho hasta $20,000 mensuales viviendo en Paraguay, o por ejemplo aquí Matías desde Argentina haciendo hasta $14,000 mensuales él personalmente. Como ellos tenemos cientos de otros vendedores y emprendedores alrededor de todo el mundo que aprendieron a utilizar este sistema de ventas que ya está comprobado y se han convertido en vendedores digitales certificados y están haciendo hoy en día ingresos extraordinarios solamente utilizando una conexión de internet. Así que si quieres aprender exactamente cómo todo esto funciona y quieres entrenarte en este sistema de ventas digitales que te permite generar ingresos a través del internet independientemente en el lugar en el mundo en el que te encuentres, dale clic más abajo, escanea el código QR o ve a closerdigital.net para ver un entrenamiento gratuito que te explica más a fondo cómo tú puedes hacer exactamente esto. De nuevo, si tú quieres aprender cómo generar ingresos a través del internet, ve a closerdigital.net o dale clic al link más abajo o escaneando el código QR que ves en pantalla para tú aprender exactamente cómo te puedes convertir en un vendedor digital certificado. Y habiendo dicho eso, continuemos con el episodio de hoy de Actitud Millonaria.
Richest people on the earth are the ones who serve the most. Yet, and I remember this very clearly in church, they teach us that, or the energy that is portrayed is that money is evil. Even though what it actually says is the love of money is the root of all evil.
The love of money.
Correct. But at least when I grew up, it was, hey, listen, money is evil. Don't pursue it. It is this energy thing that even though we all want it, it is evil because it's gonna, I don't know, contaminate our heart. What do you say to people in that scenario? You mentioned God, that is important in your life. How do you balance rich or the wealth that you have been able to build by not being able to contaminate your heart and not create this energy that money's evil?
Well, money can't be evil because money is fungible. It doesn't know where it comes from. It doesn't know where it goes. It's just a monetary denomination that you can use to trade for things. But the value that we put on money in the Torah is we don't believe that the money belongs to us. So we believe that we hold the money and that we give it to others, and that we have more than enough for ourselves and that we give the rest away. And when we do that, when we do charity, we do the charity anonymously. Now, I'm sure you see lots of buildings with a lot of people's names on them. You know, Donnie Sofer is big at doing that, who created all of Aventura. But if you ever met Donnie Sofer, he's just a real humble, he's just like a guy's guy. He's a nice man. I don't think his kids got the same lesson. You know, I used to be friendlier with Jeff. I'm not friendly with him. I don't like what happened between him and his sister, but that's life, that's business, that's family. So money's never gonna make you any better than anyone else. It's just, you're just keeping it so that you can do a better thing with it. So if you were raised that money is the root of all evil, money can be evil. Because I can say when I made a lot of money, there were periods where I don't think I was a very good person. And I had to learn to be a better person.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and I wouldn't change anything to where I am today from those days.
Okay. Do you remember the first time you made $1 million? What did it feel like?
It was weird.
Weird how?
That was at the Taft Apartments, the 183 units in Manchester. And it was weird. I was like, this is a lot of money. And I was thinking, all the real estate I could buy. I really wasn't,
Thinking about the Bugatti you're going to buy?
No. When I bought the watches, I bought them from a friend I went to high school with. The name of the jewelry store, and they're still in business, called Luxbon Green and Stevens, Mark Green. And I have a lot of friends that are very successful, very wealthy, and they're still the same regular people. I mean, I think these guys met a friend of mine. His last name is Smith, so we call him Smitty. And we've been friends since we were 8. He came to my wedding. And you wouldn't know that he was one of the original founders of Blockbuster with Wayne Huizinga. You wouldn't know that.
Wow.
But he doesn't live in a crazy, crazy house. It's a nice house. But he's just a regular guy, He still loves cars like me. I'm an old muscle car guy, so.
Cool. All right. So it felt weird to make the first $1 million.
You're working, and then the way the deal happened was just a strange deal because I bought the deal and I went to the deal $40,000 short to close it, and I had to meet with the seller that day, and I said to him, I need your help. And he said, what do you need my help with? I said, I don't have enough money to close today. And after he was like, oh, shit, I knew it, because I wanted to talk to him privately. And he said, how much do you need? And I said, I need $40,000 and I need it for 60 days. And he said, I'll give it to you for 6 months. He says, is that all you need? I said, yeah, that'll get me closed. And he did that, and I paid him back in 60 days. And I wouldn't have been able to close the deal. Still, when I get a letter in the mail from a condo converter who wanted to buy my deal out of Boston, and I was like, this letter this isn't real. This isn't a real letter. And then we checked it out, and it was a real guy. And I went to his place. He lived in Milton, Mass. And he paid me an obscene amount of money for the deal. I asked him if I could stay in the deal and learn the condo conversion business. He said yes, and I stayed in the deal for 10%. And that's how I learned how to do condo conversions. And that took me to another level.
Because that was multifamily, correct? Okay. All right. So let's say I have, $10,000. But actually, no, let me rephrase that question. You told me behind the scenes that you help people build their credit and be able to leverage and get the funding in order to buy deals. I know for a fact, because I've been able to do this myself, here you can get $50,000 to $100,000 relatively easy as long as you have good credit and you follow the right steps at 0%. Yep. Assuming
you're talking about the Chase Ink card.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Assuming I'm able to secure those funds, $50,000, $100,000, what is the right way to use those funds in order to invest in real estate? And walk me through the steps that I need to follow in order to buy my first multifamily deal that allows me to make passive income.
So in doing this, the first thing that we do is when somebody wants to join our program is they come in the program and we force them to make sure they're on all of our calls and they're going through all of the course material. At the same time, we evaluate their credit. If their credit is poor, we put them in a credit boot camp and we fix their credit. If their credit is decent, if it's 680 to 720, then you'll qualify for the Inc card. You could qualify for the Inc card at about 660, but you're probably only going to get $5,000 to $10,000. The next thing we do is we have them open up an LLC, go to Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and open up a business account. $1,000 in each account. Let it season for 2 weeks, and then go and apply right online for your credit card. If you're at 720 and your income is relatively stable, Chase is going to give you, and they don't verify your income. So you can't overstate it, but you should state the proper income. You're going to get, based on your income, anywhere from 20, you can go all the way up to 140 with Chase. The other cards are all 125, and you can get that. And now Chase just came out with a new feature where they'll give you a new 140 on one credit card, and you can consolidate all the others on another. It's weird. And it's all still, it's free interest. It's 0% interest for 12 months. Plus cash back.
Plus cash
back.
Yes.
I was like, what is this? My daughter's like, well, Dad, it's cash back. I'm like, do I have this on all my cards? She goes, yeah, you probably have a lot of it. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, my Freedom card that I use in college, you definitely have it. So I'm like, show me how to do it.
Yeah.
So she showed me how to do it. And there was a few $1,000s there. I was like, this is great stuff.
Yeah. The entire trip to Paris was 100% paid by points.
Yeah.
Credit cards.
I love that. We actually were, where were we? We're in Houston, right? We're in Houston. These people flew us in, and then they were flying us out on United. So we usually fly on American.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go into the club, but they're like, well, you don't have a membership. So she said, but you could apply for a credit card. So that card actually has miles, but they gave me an obscene amount credit limit right there on the spot. And then we got in. Adrian was sick as a dog. Oh, he was sleeping. Yeah.
All right. So I'm able to secure $100,000, 0%.
So
Chase.
the first thing we do is we teach you the process. Okay. We first push you to pick your market. Then we put you in touch with a realtor in that market.
Okay.
And then you start analyzing deals. We make sure your deals are analyzed properly. And then we say, okay, now it's time to put in a LOI, a letter of intent. Put in a letter of intent, turns into a contract. We put down a small deposit. We get you financing. We prepare for you to close on the deal. And at the same time, we will either look at when the renovation budget is, and we will bring in the local Section 8 voucher program so that you're fully vetted, your rent is guaranteed, and in these markets where we like to go into, the rent is much higher, but the barrier of entry is much lower. So you build that immediate anomaly of that income, close it, reposition it, do it again, do another one or two in that market, then you have yourself $1,500 to $2,500 a month in stable cash flow, and then we say, okay, now it's time to go on to bigger deals.
Got it.
And then we push you to go on to bigger deals. You never really use those cards.
No?
No, you really never use them because we can get you a lot of leverage. And a lot of the principles that we teach, which are all very simple principles, are getting financing directly from the seller.
Got it.
So we'll get a mortgage for 70%, or we'll get a 65% mortgage, and then we'll get another 20 or 25%, 30% from the seller. Most banks will allow you to go up to 95% financing. Combination
Really?
of a first and a second. Yeah, you just have to have the right banks. And we happen to use all those banks.
Okay. Because I was thinking you needed always to put 20% down the typical.
Nope.
So that is just all a lie. All right. Let me ask
Well,
you this.
it's a misconception.
Misconception, yeah.
Okay,
What are
yeah.
the biggest misconceptions when it comes to making money with real estate that you see portrayed all over social media, in Section 8, multifamily, single family? What are the biggest misconceptions that you see all the time?
I think some of the biggest misconceptions are some of these programs don't work. The reason they don't work is because the people that run the programs, I mean, Pace Morby is very good. He does what's called Subject To, but Subject To was created by my mentor, Robert G. Allen, and that's creative financing. He just repackaged it. Wholesaling is the flipping business. It's just repackaged. Okay. Short-term rentals is short-term rentals. People call it Airbnb, but it's really just short-term rentals.
Yeah.
All those spaces, wholesaling and short-term rentals, require zero capital. So if you're willing to learn the space, you can do anywhere from $7,500 to probably $20K a deal and do multiple deals. So in our wholesaling community, it's not a lot this month, but we have 17 deals done so far. So that's a lot. And a lot of the people in the space will take those funds. We have young kids that come in 19, 20, 21, and then they'll use those to buy their first deal. So on an STR, we'll use those. And I actually think we have a testimonial for somebody doing an STR right over here to my right. Okay, I think Tanner just did one.
Nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. Awesome. So how much money do you need in capital to start, would you say?
You don't need any.
You don't need any. To get your first deal,
No, you don't need any.
you don't need any money.
We teach it without any money, any credit, any experience.
Huh. And what about Section 8? The misconceptions in that the tenant is going to destroy your property, that it's going to be horrible.
Total misconception, because the Section 8 voucher program is given to the individual that rents. The renter is typically a person, and I hate to categorize this, but it's typically a single mom that just needs that help, who is able to work. She's a hard worker. She's a good person. She's a good mother. She just needs a little more help, and that's what that government program is for. There is a Section 8 program. It's called HAP, Housing Assistance Program, and that is what public housing is into these places that you see that are rougher markets, D properties you don't want to be involved in. Those are where there's lots of shootings and so forth. But the voucher goes wherever the property is. That voucher, if they lose that voucher, they're never getting it back. So they're going to do everything they can to sustain and maintain their rent. Now, we add a few things into the lease to take away a little bit of a headache. So we have a lockout fee. So if they lock themselves out, it costs them $150. It gets paid by Section 8. We have a maintenance fee, okay? If it's under $150, they have to repair it. And then we have a pride of ownership fee where they have to shovel the snow, cut the grass, allow us within a 24-hour notice to visit the inside of the unit, maintain the property as if they were to own it. And then we teach one more concept that we put on top of it. We teach rent to own. And why do we do this? Because it's more altruistic, because the person that is Section 8 may need credit repair. We help them repair their credit. We put them on the rent to own is an option to buy the property after making 60 monthly payments, and then we give them the property at 90 cents on the dollar. That 10% is their equity, allows you to pass it on generationally, and then you've taken all the aggravation out of owning the property because they've taken care of it as it's their own.
Got it.
And then you've done something good for another person. So
Interesting. I've never heard.
not a lot of people do it. We're just new. People are just learning about us.
Huh. I like that. I like that. So markets that you've done this, or that you mentioned that you like a lot, is red states, and usually in the Midwest. For example, I went to college in Indiana,
Good place.
in Lafayette.
Best movie, Hoosiers. Did you ever see it?
No, I have
It's a
not.
basketball movie. You got to watch it.
Okay, I love movies. So I lived in a small town called Lafayette. West Lafayette is where Purdue, where
I know where it is.
okay, perfect. So that market, I feel today might be an opportunity. I haven't been there in forever, but what would you recommend in the Midwest when I live here, for example, in Miami? How do I be able to do it remote? I have the capital or the credit, or somebody here watching might have both, right? How do they do a remote in the right way? Where I don't want to be traveling over there all the time. I don't want to be dealing with the tenants. I don't want to be, juggling all these things at the same time. I want to be able to focus on what produces me money, and I want to be able to invest it for the tax benefits, passive income, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do I do that remotely?
You do it one property at a time. You pick a market. You become very familiar with that market. So like Lydia, she did St. Louis, Missouri. We have a few other investors in St. Louis, Missouri. We have some investors that have gone to Lubbock. Lubbock actually ran out of Section 8, but they just got a new allotment. So some of our students are back in Lubbock. In the state of Ohio, we are in Ennis, Ohio. We're in Akron, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, Michigan. We're all over the place in Michigan. Where you are in Lafayette, it's a perfect combination of stabilized market because of the schools.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in that school area. We've been trying to enter Louisville, Kentucky, another good stable market. Jacksonville's a very strong market. Okay. Miramar is a strong market.
Really?
Yeah. There are deals in Miramar. Go all the way down south to Coral Reef Drive. There's other markets there. Okay? People just don't think there are. But when you get out in your car and then you drive the market and then you get on your feet and you walk around, you'll see things that you've never seen before. You don't see them when you're driving. Another market is Detroit. Another market is Detroit, yeah. There's multiple markets where you can make money in and do it very well and do it immediately versus waiting for inflation and appreciation.
Correct.
We're creating the appreciation because we're going to these markets that we can do it in.
I like that. Mark, I appreciate the time that you've taken to come here. I learned a lot. I mean, my misconceptions were gone when it comes to real estate. I'm going to have to start looking more deeply into things and not just follow what the gurus say online, right? Actually, one last question. You mentioned start one deal at a time, right? But there's other people that say that your first deal should be a 32-unit deal because it's so easy.
Oh, you're talking about my buddy.
So how do you balance the two ideologies, right? Which one? Like
it's not a bad mentality, and the mentality is when you buy a deal, you buy a single property, and you buy 32. You're still doing the same thing. You've got to identify the property. You've got to contract it. You've got to finance it. You've got to renovate it. You've got to stabilize it. So it is the same dynamic, but I like people to feel comfortable. So, and a lot of our people have poor credit and don't have the capital, so we start them off small.
Got it.
And there's nothing wrong with playing small. Now, look, I don't subscribe to playing small, but I believe that if you can get to a level of comfort and start somewhere and have a strong foundation, then you're always going to be fine.
I like that. So, and then what about the people here in Miami that are one payment away from getting their car towed, but they drive a Lamborghini or Bugatti or something along those lines, but don't have the right financial literacy to be able to sustain that in the long term? What would be your advice to them?
They should be taking that money and buying real estate with it. They should buy themselves a used car that they can afford, that they can pay for. So if they have $2,000 and can buy a car for $2,000, go do that. Don't do something they can't achieve.
Wait, delay gratification.
Yeah.
Buy real estate first and then use that to buy
So the saying is buy real estate and wait.
Buy real estate and wait.
Don't wait to buy real estate.
I like that. Buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate. Okay, I like that. Mark, where can people find you? Where can they find out more about what you guys do? I'm definitely taking notes, and behind the scenes, I'm going to start doing a little bit more research and taking this a little bit more seriously, because oil is one thing, right? But you don't have the leverage in there.
No.
You don't have
It's just like stocks.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is great, but I mean, you don't get depreciation on stocks.
Nope.
Oil you do, right? But you don't have leverage. And that is like the one thing that I'm realizing with real estate that is no other asset class has, is you are able to get leverage.
Well, take the simple example. I use this all the time. You have $100,000. You make 10% a year. What is that?
10,000.
Okay. That same $100,000, how much real estate does it let you buy?
Well,
Use your rule of thumb, 20% down.
500.
500. What's 10% on 500?
50.
You just 5 extra money and you didn't do anything. That's it. And then forget about the fact that you actually had some tax benefits and some cash flow. Why wouldn't you buy real estate? And then with that extra money, buy some bonds, buy mutual funds, buy stocks, buy your cryptos, buy your gold, do all that.
Got it. All right. Well, going to be learning a little bit more about real estate here soon, because I need to. I like that.
Everybody should own multiple real estate assets.
Multiple.
Yes.
Starts
because
with small, and
you
then
can
a little bit
always do something with it. Always. So, where can you find me? Instagram. What is it? The Mark Shapiro on Instagram. You can DM me the word real estate. You can find us at our website, M Shapiro Capital. And then find us on YouTube. I know this one. It's Mark Shapiro 1887. And we're on TikTok at Shapiro Capital.
Cool. All the links obviously are going to be down here as well in the description. I appreciate you taking the time to be here.
No, I enjoyed it.
Me too. I enjoyed it
Had
a lot.
I not met your fiance walking out and her little dog, I was like, and she's like, I know you. I'm like, okay. She was very nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but since the day we met, she's better managing money than I am. She owns real estate in Colombia
Nice.
right now. She's owned real estate since she was like 21 or 22.
Wow.
So she's made good money with that in Colombia. Now she wants to translate that in the United States.
Oh,
So
it's easy. Once you've done it anywhere, you can do it here.
I like that. Cool. Mark, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
People, the information of Mark is down here. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be seeing each other again. And I'm definitely going to be learning the real estate. Game.
Definitely.
And I'm going to take your advice about Indiana.
Okay.
I'm going to take your advice about Indiana. People, if you got to the end of this podcast, follow Mark Shapiro here. And we'll have to talk behind the scenes about the events and everything you guys have going on.
Super.
Cool.
Thank you.
Bye.